I'm Bae.
And I'm Morgan, and we are the Body Acceptance Babes.
This is the podcast where we talk about how to accept the body you have, let go of societal expectations to change the way you look, and to just be who you were born to be from the inside out.
You'll hear about how we embrace body neutrality, reject diet culture, and learn how you can too. Now on with the show.
Hi, Morgan.
Hey, babe. How are you? How was your week? Any stories for our listeners?
So many things came up this week. This was such a week. This week I found out that, the weather took a turn. So we had all these days, literally summer extended all the way into the end of October, which is unusual for where I am living now. And it's been 24 degrees every day. I don't know what that is for our American listeners.
I could try 78.
Okay.
I guess.
So,
around.
Yeah, super warm. You don't need a coat. You can go outside with a light sweater. Anyway, so it's been warm and then it took a turn. So we had to turn our furnace on, and that got me thinking how does my winter coat fit? Is it going to be good? I put on my coat and it fit, but not if I needed added layers underneath. So, yeah. So I was okay. And I know, and where I moved, it gets really cold. It can get up to -40. And the forecast is saying, I don't know what -40 is also. -40
it's
Celsius.
less. It's minus
-20.
-20 Fahrenheit, probably.
Yeah.
Really, really, really effing cold. Yeah.
Really cold. So I was I need snow pants. So my coat fit, I was I could probably make this work. But my snow pants, I haven't worn snow pants in 3 years. And there was 2 inches. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring it together by 2 inches. So there was no way that it was going to fit.
Right. And
I didn't, actually for the first time, I didn't feel bad about my body for it not fitting.
That's good.
Yeah. So that was really good. But I was then frustrated that I didn't think snow pants would fit under my other coat. And then I was well, now I just feel when I gain weight now, I'm more accepting, this is what my body is doing. This is what my body needs. And I need to be warm. I need to have winter clothing because it's fucking cold here in the winter. And, and I need to get these things. I just find now that it's more of an inconvenience to have to then go out and buy things that I thought I had. So, but thank goodness this store, it's a UK company, Mountain Warehouse. They have excellent, for any listeners who need outdoor gear, they have excellent sizes. Awesome. I have no issues.
Maybe I'll look at them because I need to buy a new winter coat because I actually burnt mine, a hole in mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we were outside during the COVID thing. No, a propane heater. My winter coat touched a propane heater and it melted it. So.
Oh, wow. The other thing about Mountain Warehouse is that I find their prices affordable. I was looking at Eddie Bauer because I know they have plus size jackets, and I found one, and because I walk the dog, so I want something where I'm not gonna have to wear snow pants, but I could. So I want
a long coat.
Yeah, the one that goes down past your knees. So I looked. Eddie Bauer had one. It was $470, and Mountain Warehouse had one for $189. So. Wow. Just to give you an example of the price. Anyway, this got a little bit side off topic, but
it's actually really appropriate for our topic, which is the holidays.
Yeah.
Because winter is coming, but yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as body acceptance journey goes, I'm really grateful that I didn't feel bad about myself because every time I've ever gained weight in my life, I've always been hard on myself when I'm oh, these clothes don't fit. But you need to be warm. It's just a fact of life, and especially living in Canada, we need gear, so.
Well, and 3 years ago, who knows, it was pre-pandemic. It was maybe you were still unlearning diet culture stuff. Maybe, who knows, right?
Oh.
It's
3 years ago, I was getting ready for the wedding. So I was walking multiple
There you
hours
go.
every day. I was totally dieting. I'm pretty sure I was doing keto. Like,
Jeez.
yeah.
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 So there you go. So, but that also helps, I think, with you coming to terms with that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Has anything come up for you this week?
Yeah, I actually have a story that's related to this this episode. So today we're going to talk about the holidays, and we're going to kind of spin it to be like, we said this in another episode, that body acceptance is also like body, mind, spirit acceptance.
Yes.
And we're going to talk a lot about that this episode, around things like the holidays, Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, those type of events.
Yeah.
So my story is, I'm going to use Aunt Marge, the scapegoat character.
Aunt Marge.
Aunt Marge sent me an email inviting me and my family to a Christmas party. And it's just at a really awkward time for my family. It's on a weeknight, on a school night for my daughter, on a work day. So I haven't decided whether or not we will, number one, be able to attend, or if we even want to attend, because it will be kind of stressful. But on the other side, on the flip side, I haven't seen my family, my extended family on that side in over 3 years. Yeah. So I am kind of being pulled at both sides of this, going, what does my heart want to do? Do I really want to go? Is there another way I could see them? Like, or maybe maybe I'll regret it if I don't go. Those type of things, right? So maybe I need to try to make it work. So like, but it's so far, like, it was a save the date, and it's just far in advance. Like, I even reached out to our babysitter, and she doesn't even know her plans yet, right? Because it's too far in advance. Yeah. So it's kind of up in the air, but this kind of segues into our topic, because I wanted people to know that we're going to be talking about these type of things this week, including like how to listen to your intuition around the holidays and what that looks like for everyone. So I guess, like, to end my story, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Stay tuned for that. But I'm trying my best to listen to my intuition and also my husband's intuition, and figure out what we really want to do. So yeah.
That's the hard part about the holiday season, is you're invited to a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Especially now that, like, the pandemic is in the rear view mirror, I could say. Yeah. Like, it's looming, but it's not
still here, but it's
present.
not like I guess we could say the restrictions are gone. So,
yes. Which has been a big thing for us.
Yeah. For us in our country. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's added, it's an added layer to the normal holiday guilt and pressure, because, like, exactly what you said, you haven't seen people in 3 years. So, like, what do you it's like an added, like exactly what you said. Am I going to regret it? Am I going to feel guilty for not going? Like, all that. Yeah. And your Aunt Marge doesn't live nearby, right?
No.
Yeah. So it's not even like you can pop in for an hour and then just be home in 10 minutes.
We would need to kind of rearrange work schedules and school schedules and stuff in order to attend. Or we need to show up late.
Yeah.
So.
And then probably not stay for very long, so you can get
home probably not stay for very long. We're also traveling this year for Christmas 2 days after, so it's like that's a factor too, because it will add, like, that's time we don't have to pack, right? So stuff like that. So I mean, it kind of leads into our first point, which is, like, how to choose which events to go to and which ones not to go to when you're invited to so many. Like, how do we do that? So, like, I always try to first look at, do I want to go? And then, like, is it feasible? How stressful is it? Like, that kind of thing. And what type of experience will I have when I'm there? Yeah. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that type of thing, like, when you're choosing what to do.
That's something, exactly what you listed is exactly what I used to look at. Now I find I also really want to consider how I feel initially. If someone invites me to something... Oh,
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I get invited to something, sometimes initially I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to that. And then I start thinking about it. And then the thing with me is, like, I've always had responses, like initial responses of like, I know like whether I want to go or not. And the problem is I got forced to doing a lot of stuff like as a kid. And like, it was always like, oh, but you'll have fun when you're there. And like, yeah, I have fun when I'm there. I'm a people person. I can hang out with anybody. But like, do I actually want to go? Is it a good use of my energy? Is it like, would I rather do something else? Yeah. So those initial responses can really tell you a lot. And so
that's good. That's interesting. And even if we take my story example, I remember my initial response was, oh, yay, a family party. But then immediately I was like, but oh, gosh, it's on a Thursday. Like, it was like that, right? Yeah. So it was like, I literally had almost both.
Yeah.
like it was like, you know what I mean? So I get what you're saying though. It's like your initial reaction is probably the most accurate, but like,
yes. Yeah. Because the thing is like our brains get in the way with like logic. And I feel like, you know, like in your situation, it's like, well, you're going away and, you know, maybe you can pack the night before. Or,
that's true.
You know, and then maybe go and see your family, and then you're going to have your vacation to rest. So maybe that'll work. I don't know. Yeah. Sleep on the plane. I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's that. I've thought of that side of it. I've also thought of the other side of it, which was I was kind of hoping that particular night that Aunt Marge chose would be like our Christmas Eve. But then it's like I can always tweak that too. So I don't know. Yeah. So it's like there's tons of different things. You know.
Yeah. I think there's ways to make things work with our initial reaction. And I think our brain often wants to logic us out of things. And, you know, the brain's job is to try and keep us safe, air quotes, from like a primal level of like, there's a mountain lion coming, get away. Like trying to keep us safe. So like our brains are literally conditioned to analyze and think about things. It's like literally what we're taught when we're in school. And our intuition and those initial responses are, I think, teaching us more about what's aligned for us and what we should be doing with our lives rather than what society says we should be doing. So that's what I think about that.
No, that's true. That's really, really true. So I think that's a good, that we've given people a lot to look at, like in terms of like what's your initial response, what do you actually want to do, you know, like what would you do instead if this wasn't even an option? It's important to ask yourself those questions for sure. I think so too.
Because it's not just a do I want to go or do I not want to go. It's like do I want to see these people? Is this how
and it's like, do I want to go? And at what cost? Will going, like, how stressed are you that week? How, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And the other thing is, I want to, like, really stress this to people, is, like, if you commit to going to something and you don't feel like it that week, it's okay to say, we've changed our mind. Yeah. And, like...
Because things can happen that you don't expect.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah. I feel like that's something else that I always prided myself on, like, no, I committed myself to doing this. I'm going to do this thing.
100% I was the same.
Yeah. But like lately I've been like, you know what? If I don't have the energy to do this thing because of whatever factors, I need to honor how I'm feeling in that moment. And I think everyone will do well to remember that for themselves, because it can really, because the thing is like you said this to me once, is like, you don't know how the other person is feeling, and if you're feeling like you don't have the energy to do that thing, maybe the other person is too, and they just haven't said anything.
And they're feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this commitment either. And then when you say that, and I had that situation happen. Okay, I'll tell a story. I had that situation happen before Thanksgiving. I had plans with a friend, and it would have been a really long week. I was feeling exhausted. We were, I felt like I was battling a cold all week, but it never came on. I have a cold right now, so if you hear it in my voice, I apologize. But
that's why.
Yeah, but it was just, yeah. But, and then out of the blue, this friend called me and said her son was under the weather and that they couldn't attend the friend's Thanksgiving thing. And I felt like relief. Like, I was like, so now we're going to do something on Halloween instead. But, like, it's one of those, like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
relief things, right? Where, but I would have just stuck with it because I said it to her that I would have, right?
Yeah.
But I was actually relieved when, you know, she canceled. So, like, but that just goes to show you, should I have done that or should I have listened to my own self?
Yeah.
And maybe canceled on her, like, can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, what I said with the Aunt Marge example today was I did reply to Aunt Marge's email with the answer of I don't know yet. And I think that's also an okay answer.
Yes.
If you don't actually know and you haven't made a decision yet, it's okay to let loved ones know or friends, family know that you're thinking about it, but that you haven't made a decision yet. Like, literally, I was like, I don't know yet. I will let you know either way, closer to the thing.
To further that point, I want people to remember that if someone gets mad at you by saying, like, you need to make a decision, that's their problem.
Yeah, for some reason, that's something that they're dealing with. I don't know what, but they're dealing with something.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, you're allowed to say maybe.
Yep.
Just as much as you're allowed to say no, as much as society kind of discourages it. You're allowed to say no and you're allowed to say maybe. And you're allowed to decide last minute. And if someone else is like, oh, but I need to know for blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, I can't give you that. So if you want me there, I need this flexibility to be able to decide later. And
as someone who, as someone who throws a lot of parties, I sometimes do need to know numbers for things. Yeah. But I usually wait till the very last moment before I pull that trigger, right?
Yeah. So don't feel guilty. Guilt is going to be a big theme for our episode today.
Yes, we were discussing this before we started recording, and guilt is in a lot of things. Yeah. Because a lot of this is around guilt you feel yourself, family guilting you. Yeah. Like, so we can break that down too. Oh, maybe we should define guilt. But we can break that down.
For me, if you're going to, like, look up the definition, I'll just say, like, for me, I think guilt is that feeling of feeling like you should be doing something other than what you're actually doing.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like it's like those external pressures that you should be doing something almost like contrary to what your intuition wants you to do, but other people are telling you, well, you should be doing this and you should feel this way and you should blah, blah, blah. So the guilt is almost like your signpost to tell you that, like, it's okay that you're not doing this thing. You're following your intuition and that's okay.
These are so weird because so immediately the guilt, it looked at criminal guilt. So it was like the fact of having committed a specific or implied offense or crime. And the sentence is, it is the duty of the prosecution to prove the prisoner's guilt. So it's like, but that's not what we mean. So then the second definition is a feeling of having done wrong or failed in an obligation. So that's what we mean. So he remembered with sudden guilt the letter from his mother that he had not yet read. Yeah, perfect. So that's our definition. A feeling of having done wrong. Well, that's the definition of Oxford Languages Dictionary. A feeling of having done wrong or failed in an obligation. So if we break that down, it's a feeling of having done wrong, not actually wrongdoing. Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out. Yeah. Yeah. But I really feel like it comes down to doing something that's aligned with how you feel versus doing something that's aligned with how other people feel. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so funny because sometimes you don't win. Like, you feel guilty for not going, and then you feel guilty for going. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you feel guilty for not, listening to your intuition if you do go, and then you feel guilty for not going because you're not pleasing other people, right? So, yeah. So, and sometimes I feel like we'll go into this next topic because this kind of naturally flows, but like, I'm just thinking of examples where, like, what to do if your family, so say you create these boundaries and you say like, okay, you know what, I've decided I'm not going to go to this Christmas party because it's just the timing is horrible. And, you know, this isn't my example, by the way. This is just a random example. You know, you just decide that you're not going to go to a holiday event. And then you get pressure from family and friends being like, no, please come, da, 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 da. And basically, like, you're trying to set this boundary, but then your family is trying not to let you set the boundary, right? And they're really, really pushing hard. It's like, what do we do in that situation, right? Yeah. It almost makes us feel more guilty.
Yeah, because they're trying to work with your schedule because you're trying to set a boundary, but they're like, oh no, let's just force it.
Yeah, that's a great example. Saying. That's great. Yeah, that's a great example. So like, so an example would be like, no, I've decided I'm not coming. And they're like, well, we really want you there, so we're going to move the time. What time is good for you? Yeah. And you're like, I don't want to go at all. Like, what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, something like that. And I'm not saying that to my beautiful friends and family, I'm not saying this has ever happened, but like, I'm just saying in general, this can be a thing for people about anything, right? So
I think in this situation, it's important to stick to your feelings. And the thing about sticking to your intuition is, like, for me, I've been a people pleaser my whole life, and this has definitely been something that I've been working through in the last couple of years on my personal growth journey. But I feel like if you decide you want to do something and you know it's fully aligned with you, no matter what anybody else says, you need to stick to that, and it's gonna feel really fucking uncomfortable because it's new. New things always feel uncomfortable. It's just the same as like, I really want to wear this sequin dress, but like everyone's going to be staring at me because it's so bright. You just have to do it, and then you realize no one's staring at you. You're fine. And then it feels more comfortable the more you do it. So if people are pushing your boundaries, you have to kind of like sit through the discomfort. And one other thing that it sounds really silly, but something that I find that helps so much is forgiving yourself. Right. And like, if you feel guilty for not going and your family or whoever in this situation is trying to push you to do something and they're trying to work around you because they really want to see you, but you really don't feel aligned to doing that thing, forgive yourself for that guilt that you're feeling. And for me, I really feel like it lifts the weight and it just gives you more inner peace. But that's how I think you got to get through it. You got to literally live through the discomfort until you do it often enough that it feels comfortable.
Yeah. And just stick to things, you know, like stick to things that you feel aligned with. Like, the whole point of talking about this is I love Christmas. So for me, I celebrate Christmas. I actually celebrate Hanukkah too. For me, Christmas and the holiday season is one of my favorite times. It's like a double-edged sword. It's one of my favorite times, and it's also one of the times I hate the most. So, same. I'm really trying to work on making it a time that I love again. Like, I'm really trying to reclaim it again and being like, how can I continue with the traditions I love and let go of the traditions I don't love anymore and that feel heavy. So, and that includes all of what we're talking about, right? Yeah. So, but you're totally right. And actually, dressing for holiday parties is one of the points on our list, so we can talk more about that too. But it's the same thing. It's like, if you, if you really want to do something different than you normally do, or wear something different than you normally do, like, you have to give yourself permission to do that. Yes. No matter how it kind of feels initially. Yes. So,
yeah. You're sense. The one who gets to decide what you do with your life. Everyone else can try and set whatever standards onto you, but in the end, you're the one who gets to make those decisions. And that's the beauty of life, is that you get to make those choices.
Yes. Yep.
And
so, I feel like do what lights you up.
Yeah. And like what you were saying is, like, I feel like it really comes down to like alignment with the people in your life. Cause like I want to create, like, I got married 2 years ago. I want to create new things with my husband and do new things. And I'm not really a traditional kind of person. And I also celebrate Christmas, but I don't agree with a lot of the forced things that society makes you do around the holidays. I just think it gets way too busy for no reason. Like, I can see you in January. It doesn't have to be December. That's my opinion. And I feel like I want to create...
I actually really resonate with that.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that's part of what stresses me out is I have to see everyone, and it has to be in like a 2-week span.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like,
and it's like, it drains you because you want to see people, but like you're so busy, and then all of a sudden December's gone, and then you're like, okay, now I can rest. But I feel like you can see someone the first week of January. It's the same. Like, you can still see them. And like, if you want to see me, you don't have to see me just because it's Christmas. You can see me in March. You can see me anytime. And
even like gifts and gift exchanges can be done later. And like, if both parties want to, I have a thing about gifts. I'm not as into them as I used to be. Because I feel like the meaning behind it has changed in our society.
Absolutely.
And it's not something that aligns with me currently. So like, I really believe in setting boundaries around gift giving and receiving. And yes, it's possible that people might not listen to you, but that doesn't mean that, you can still maintain that boundary in different ways. Like, you know, but it's just like, I'm trying not to have my daughter spoiled to death at Christmas with 1,000 gifts that just take up space in our house. But if we end up getting a lot of gifts, I put some of them away and I don't show them to her right away.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Good.
So yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like, it's like, but I don't know. I feel like giving a gift is like an act of showing someone that you love them. And I feel like there are ways that you can do that without giving the gift. You know what I mean?
I agree,
like,
100%.
Because I was really trying to think of like, what is the point of giving Christmas gifts? It's an act of love, right? Like, that's really what it is. But like, I don't need stuff. I have a small house. Like, you know, why can't an act of love just be like having a drink with me or having a coffee with me? Or like, why does it have to be like a physical thing, right?
I've literally felt this way for the past several years.
I know you have.
Like,
I know you have.
I am not a gift person.
No.
Mostly because I don't like surprises, but I also feel like exactly what you said. Society has made it a forced thing to give people gifts, and people.
That's, I think, part of it too. Yes, it's so forced. Yes,
it's so forced and like expected, and then it's awkward, and it's just like, I don't need to give you something to show you that I care. Like, I feel like I give pretty good hugs, and I feel like. You know, just talking to people and like and that's the other thing is like, just because it's Christmas, why does that mean I have to get you something? Like, you know,
or be gifted something on the other side. Like it's, you know, I have always been the one to be like, hey, this year family, let's not do gifts. And like, but then it's an uprising and everyone.
Oh yeah. Same.
But
I can't.
Or they say yes and everyone still gets them anyway.
Yeah. I continuously have this argument with my own Aunt Marge, and my argument is like, I don't want any gifts, so don't give me any gifts. And Aunt Marge's argument is like, but I love giving gifts, so I should be free to give you a gift. And
let's talk about that. Like, how can we?
Yeah, that's one of the points on our list here.
Because there are lots of people who giving a gift is their love language.
Yeah.
Like, so a different Aunt Marge in my family, her love language is gift giving, and not only do I get gifts at holidays, I get gifts every time I see this Aunt Marge, every single time. So, how do we handle that, everyone?
Yeah. So I think the best thing to do, how I've gotten around it, is if someone gives me something that won't, I'm just going to say, add value to my life. And I also have a small house, and I'm borderline minimalist. So like, I don't want to have extra clutter in my home. I don't need it.
Okay. I'm similar. Yeah. Like, I also think there's a huge difference between I thought of you and I got this for you, versus like, it's Christmas, so here's a box of chocolates because I feel obligated to give something to you. Yeah. Like, there's a difference between that. So if it's the second one, then I will re-gift it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or especially to someone who I think will appreciate it a lot more than me.
Yeah.
So kind of like a pay it forward thing. Or I find, I will keep it for a certain amount of time and then I will let it go, i.e. donate it, give it to a friend who might want it more, like if it's something else, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's taken me a long time to get to this point, too, because I always felt like if someone gave me something, I had to keep it.
Yeah.
But I feel someone taught me that abundance is like a river. And if you're standing in the river and imagine the gift is just coming down the river to you and the gift was given to you. And if it's not something that will add value to your life or light you up or, if it's something that's going to weigh you down, it's best to let that go down the river to the next person because you're opening up the gates of abundance by allowing that flow to continue through you.
That's such a good analogy. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not weighing you down, creating like a dam in the abundance river. So you have to pay it forward as much as you can. If it's something like a box of chocolates, like for me, I am allergic to many ingredients in chocolates. So I would, in that example, probably just throw them away if I didn't have someone I could give it to. Yeah.
I'm just looking up, there's a meme, here it is, that, not a meme, I guess it was something that was shared that I've shared a couple times on my own social media, but I wanted to share it with the listeners. Like, there are time and places for gifts, but they can look different. Yeah. So, for example, for the gift-giving people in my life, I will give them, for example, an Amazon wish list, or I will tell them what I need. And this is what this is about. So I'll read it to you. So it says, before you buy a bunch of, quote, stuff for family and friends this holiday season, try asking them what they really need. Maybe they need help with a utility bill or a car payment or rent. Maybe they need a kid-free night and could use a free babysitter. Maybe they need a night off of cooking and could use a homemade meal. Maybe they need help with gas for their car. Maybe they need a night out with friends. Maybe they need a cup of coffee and someone just to listen. Maybe they need help making the holidays bright for their children. Maybe they need help in some other way, but they either don't know how to ask for help or are too embarrassed to ask. Maybe you could be the one to give them what they really need this season rather than just more stuff.
Yeah.
And it really sat with me because this is kind of what I tell the people who are gift-giving people. If you really want to give a gift, I know the point of gifts is you're supposed to give someone what they want and not what they need. But I feel like as adults, what I need is also what I want.
I want a Ferrari. Just kidding.
Well, for example, we dropped a lot of money. We built a new deck and dropped a lot of money on it. We have some debt now from it on our line of credit. Part of me is my parents, I love them so much. They always give me a large gift. What would be the best thing to ask for? It would be money to pay down the debt. But they'll want to give me something more than that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's just an example. But you get what I'm saying? It's maybe, it's hard to explain this, but it's think of what I just said in that post that I shared, that maybe if you love giving gifts so much in your heart and it's something that you just long to do, how can you do it in a way that people who aren't gift giving people and receiving people can accept it? You know what I mean? Yeah. There was something on there that was coffee with a friend. It's that's a gift, it doesn't have to be material.
That's what
coffee could be saying. The gift from Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts in the States.
Yeah. But that's what I keep saying to my own Aunt Marge. Yeah. It's I want to spend time with you. So I don't have to receive a gift.
Yes.
And I totally understand that people have love languages and that gift giving for those people who have this love language is a material thing. But I think it's really important to think about the other person when you are going to be giving a gift rather than yourself. Because if it's your like I've received so many gifts of like, I love this, so here's one for you too, instead of I love this and I think you will actually use this thing.
Yeah. Or you love something that I don't love, but I'm going to get you that.
Yeah.
So, like, even though I don't really understand it or like it or whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
You know, as an example, like, it's like if someone got me another electric pressure canner, I would be so pumped. But, like, because having two would be amazing because I could do more at once. But, like, people don't understand that. So, but I'm just giving a random example. But, yeah, so I just wanted to mention that because, like, there's a lot, like, it's, the gift-giving thing is heavy, you know, it can be heavy on both sides. And we didn't really mention this at the top of the episode, but if you're looking for more, like, specific body acceptance stuff, you can visit our Thanksgiving episode because it's basically the same. But we're gonna, I did want to move into the guilt about holiday food and stuff, though, because we have one point about, you know, someone makes you food and you don't want to eat it, or maybe someone's judging you for eating too much, or feeling guilty around eating, like, for example, like, I love holiday, like, cookies and stuff like that, right? Like, like, is there any diet culture guilt around that? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my
like,
gosh, so many. Christmas is such a weird time because it's so like
weird.
Society is encouraging you to do like baking and like do stuff like that, but then society is also telling you you need to be skinny, so like don't eat the baking. So it's like, why are you making the baking, and then what's happening with the baking? And then it's just like, and then they're encouraging you to like bake healthy, but then if you're really craving grandma's chocolate chip cookies, like you should be making grandma's chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. Like, it is true because you're encouraged to do holiday baking and stuff. Yeah. But then you're not encouraged to eat it and just encouraged to throw it out or like give it to other people. I don't know. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Serve it to other people, I guess. But yeah. So, I mean, I guess what to do? Like, if we have guilt around any of that, like, first of all, like, I just want to say this because, like, we've said this in several other episodes, but it's like eating one cookie will not make you fat, right?
Yeah,
just like,
it's true.
Yeah. Just like going on one walk will not make you thin. It's like, so like, it's not, but even eating cookies for a month will not make you, like, it's like, you see what I'm saying? It's not, it doesn't have to be that heavy. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing with dieting too, is that once you do get grandma's cookies, you're probably going to eat more if you only eat them once a year than you would if you allowed yourself to have them throughout the year. So, but anyway,
or even
that
throughout
doesn't really...
the whole holiday season, right? Like, like if you make the cookies beginning in November and you say, well, I can have as many as I want throughout the whole holiday season, like, you know,
you'll probably eat less.
You'll probably eat less of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not restricted.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I think if you're at a holiday event and people make some food and you feel guilty around, should I eat this thing? Should I not eat this thing? Literally ask yourself, do I want this? And see how you feel and go with your intuition. And if you feel guilty because of external pressures, you need to forgive yourself for that and eat the fucking cookie. Like, yeah.
If you want it, for sure. Like, if you, and I would say, like, we can go back to the other thing you mentioned, like, what's your initial reaction to the food?
Yes.
Like, if you're like, holy crap, that looks amazing, yum, like,
eat
then
it.
You probably want to eat it. Yeah. But if you're like, oh, it's cranberry sauce and I hate cranberries, like, then don't.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like my family has always been big on, like, pushing food on me. Like, I made this thing, you need to try it. That's another thing at, like, potluck holiday events. Like, oh, I made this thing, did you try it? You can say no, and that's okay. And if they push you, that's on them. And that's so important to remember, because when someone else is putting pressure on you, it's something they need to work on. It doesn't mean that you need to do that thing.
Yeah, and a really good answer is, I will just say, you know, like, I'm full right now. Maybe later on I'll see, but, like, I'm currently too full to eat that, or I'm currently not feeling it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to remember, like, if that makes you feel more comfortable to give a reason, then go for it.
Yeah.
But don't feel like you have to give a reason, because you don't have to explain yourself to anybody ever. It's your life. You get to do what's aligned for you, and you don't need to explain yourself.
That's definitely true as well.
But it's hard.
Well, that's the thing. I was just giving that example as, like, if someone wants to know what to say, like, you can just say you're full. Like,
yeah, that's a good thing too. You can lie.
Yeah.
Totally. If you want to make someone else feel good, totally lie.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Because it's almost like that's what a white lie is. It's like you're still being in line with your intuition, but you're not upsetting the person as much, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah.
But, yeah.
I think it depends on the person too.
Yes, true.
Because, like, I don't know. It's hard. I was raised with, you have to tell people why that you're doing or not doing something. But I feel like now as an adult, I'm like, I don't need to tell anybody anything. It's my life and my body, and I get to choose what I do and what goes in it.
It's true, though. You do. You have every right to choose all of that, for sure.
Yeah. And that maybe segues into this other subtopic of alcohol.
Yes, that's true too. Alcohol is So, like, I love my wine and I love my alcohol. But I'm very, very good at listening to my body when I'm, like, one of the reasons why I prefer alcohol to other substances, like where we live, marijuana is legal. So, but I don't like it because I feel like I go from sober to high and there's no in the middle. Yeah. Whereas if I'm drinking wine, for example, I can choose to have 1 glass of wine or 3 glasses of wine, and I can choose how far apart I have them, and I can choose how much I'm eating. That takes away some of the effects of it. You don't get what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to have more control over that. I mean, I'm a control freak, I guess, but so I guess it's like there are ways where you can enjoy it, but you can also listen to your intuition as well. Like, with it as well. And if someone is pressuring you to have someone you don't want to, you know, then it's totally okay to say no. And for every reason.
I think if you're feeling pressure to drink more, you can also, like I was saying earlier, lie. You can get yourself something that looks like alcohol that's not alcohol, and so and put it in a wine glass, for example, so, like, people think you're still drinking, but you're actually not. Yeah.
And I would also like to say, if you want to let loose one night and you're not driving and you're not being belligerent or rude, or, you know what I mean, and you want to enjoy wine, and people are judging you for that on the other side of it, you know what I mean? Like, just have what you want.
That's true.
Right?
I've been on that end too. And I feel like, how did I deal with that? I think I just was like, fuck that, and I just did it anyway.
Yeah. And again, you can explain yourself, or you can just be like, it's Christmas, I'm enjoying myself. That's usually what I say. And because, a lot of times, because you're having fun and you're not hurting anyone. Like, if you're having fun and you're not hurting anyone, then, like, that's the whole point of life, right? Is to have fun. But in the same respect, if you're not feeling like drinking, that's fine too. Like, it's like, I'm not trying to push one or the other. It's just, I've been in both of those situations where I haven't wanted to drink and where I have. So, yeah.
And in the great words of T Swift, haters gonna hate, 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 hate. So there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
So,
stellar lyrics.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, T Swift. Yeah, she might have had a few drinks when she was writing that song. No kidding. I'm kidding. I know there's lots of people that love Taylor Swift. Don't come for me. But
I love Taylor Swift. But The whole
Yeah.
point around like food, alcohol,
Yes.
even clothing, we can get into clothing.
Yes.
You should do what feels right for you, what lights you up
Yeah.
in any situation,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and that's why we're talking about all of this, because literally the point of this topic, at least when I made the points for this topic, I started listening to Christmas music to get in the mood, and
Yes.
it brought me back into literally how I feel at Christmas, which is that mix of chaos but happiness.
Yes.
And so it's like, how do we get to a point where we can actually enjoy the holidays? And I really, really think that comes down to loving ourselves and honoring what we actually want to do through our intuition. So,
Yes.
so like, if like we've said this so many times, but it's like if you want to go, if you want to go through, like, I'm just trying to think, like you can go through everything. It's like, if you want to go to the party, don't. If you want to wear the sparkly dress, wear it. If you want it, like, it's like, that's what makes Christmas special. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying ignore your family completely or don't honor anything to do with them. I'm just saying, like as we've kind of mentioned, you don't have to see everything and do everything in this 1 month period or whatever it ends up being. Or 2 months. Like it's like you can pick and choose what you want to do based on what lights you up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how to be, I guess, right?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I always say this, it's your life. If Aunt Marge is like, but I want to see you. Okay, well, I want to see you too, but not right now. And like, I can't do it right now, you know? Yeah. Or like, I want to see you too, and I'll be there, you know? Like, whatever.
Yeah, like, that's like alignment versus not alignment. Right?
Yeah. So
like, and that's the thing. Like, I guess why I wanted to do this topic too, or why we decided to, was this could be such a heavy time. You know what I mean, for people undergoing body acceptance, but it's just so much more than body acceptance, right? It's like almost like heart and mind and soul acceptance too.
Yes.
So like,
and I would really love to jump into the clothing.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. We are both dress up people.
We are.
And like, we love dressing up.
Yeah.
For any reason. Or no reason at all.
Or we make a reason.
Yeah. I used to love New Year's at your house where we like dressed to the nines.
Yeah. We would dress up for New Year's at my house. Like, and that was fun. Yeah, that was literally like dress up as if you're going to, I don't know, a 5-star restaurant or a fancy club.
The Ritz.
And the Ritz, exactly. Yeah.
And I want to encourage our listeners, like, I'm just going to keep saying sparkly dress because that's what's coming to mind right now.
It's also, they're in right now. Sequin dresses are really in. I've seen them in a lot of,
why.
I've seen a lot of advertisements for them in various different stores. So anyway, sidebar.
Yeah. If you want to wear it, like, I used to feel like I always had to know what other people were wearing so that I could dress the same. But I always used to want to blend in. It's something in my body acceptance journey that I found it was easier to blend in because then people weren't noticing me and noticing what my body looked like and noticing like the size or whatever. And something that I've done, but it didn't always light me up to wear that thing. Like, if other people were going to dress casual, it didn't always light me up to dress casually.
Yep.
Yeah. And I recently heard this quote that's like, you are never overdressed. Like, you can't be overdressed. Like, society can probably tell you, hey, why are you wearing that? And, like, you might have to deal with, you know, Aunt Marge being like, why are you wearing that? But if you want to wear the sequins dress and everyone else is wearing leggings and oversized sweaters, then
wear the sequin dress.
Wear the sequin wear the sequin dress.
Well, and I also want to say that I've noticed that as I've gotten older, a lot of events throughout my life have gotten more casual. And I don't know if that's because of like just, you know, just the way our shift in society or fashion or whatnot. But I really, you know, it's kind of like, for example, it's like I always used to dress up for like Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, and and it's just like, you know, and then now it's like no one's doing that anymore kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I'm like, I don't have a lot of chances to dress up. Yeah. I work from home for the most part, and when I'm not working from home, I'm working at a farm.
Yeah.
So it's like I occasionally go out on a date night with my husband, but like not to anywhere really fancy. But I don't often get a lot of opportunities to dress up. So I create opportunities, like, or just I go back to the olden days where people would dress up for Christmas. Like if you look at pictures from when my grandma was younger, like in the 60s, we saw a couple pictures recently of my grandmother when she was in the 60s, and they're all dressed in like dresses and gloves, and like that was like the thing you did, and they have, you know, fancy martini glasses, and like I don't know, it's just cool. So and I will say, if dressing up isn't your thing, then don't do it. But like, yeah, it's like, don't do it if you don't want to, but just accept that other people might do it. Right? So
that's literally the message for this entire episode. It's like,
I summed it up in one sentence.
Yeah. Like if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah.
And if other people want to do it, let them.
Yeah.
and don't like judge them for it, and just like let it be.
Yes.
In the words of the Beatles.
Yes, absolutely.
Just let it be.
Yeah, just let it be. And and it's like, and there are times when I don't feel like dressing up, and I go to parties, and, you know, that happens. But but I would never, if someone was dressed up, I would make a comment like, you look great, but like I would never be like, why are you dressed up? I don't know, like, you know, like,
I feel like that's such a common thing though.
I know.
Why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
Like,
because I wanted to.
Let's all remove that from our vocabulary. Let's not ask anyone why they're wearing something, because they fucking wanted to. And they are.
Yeah. So. They felt called to wear it that day. Or maybe they just didn't have anything else. It was laundry day, or like, who knows? Yeah. But does that make sense? I don't know. So I love, like, I mean, so we're giving from the perspective of the dressed up person. But if we were to take the perspective from the not dressed up person, it's like, cool if you don't want to dress up, because I've been there too. And if someone dresses up, that's not them trying to be better than you, or like, you know what I mean? It's just them trying to have an experience where they feel good about themselves and what they're wearing.
Yeah, and it
has literally nothing to do with you, like nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I would also argue they're living their purpose. Like they're living their truth. Like if I want to wear a sparkly dress and you want to wear leggings, that doesn't make us any less friends. Like,
no,
that doesn't put any threat on you at all. And I think if someone feels guilty, or if someone gives you a hard time because you're wearing something that they're not wearing, that's just them being jealous. Like, so many people dress up because their husband or wife forced them to dress up, and then they get there and they're like, oh, you're wearing jeans. Oh, I wish I was wearing jeans.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
You know.
Yeah, it goes the other way too. It goes the other way too, for sure. Yeah, and you're like, yep, I felt called to wear leggings, and I'm just gonna be comfy, bitch. Like,
this holiday season, let's not comment on people's appearance unless it's, you look great.
Yeah, you look great. You look beautiful. The end.
Yeah, the end.
Yeah, the end.
Or hi, how are you?
Yes. Yeah. Or even, I mean, I comment on people's appearance, but it's usually because I like what they're wearing and I want to know where they got it so that I can buy that thing. So I'll be like, that's a beautiful dress. Where did you get it from?
Yeah.
Which is like, because I want to know, because I might want to buy it for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I guess that's commenting on what people are wearing. But it's a positive comment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a compliment, I think. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would usually help pick someone up, hearing a compliment.
Absolutely.
That's one of those things that, like, if you're trying to, like, air quotes, be a better person, it's helpful to go around, and whenever you see someone, not necessarily strangers on the street, but, like, if you see someone, finding something about them that you can compliment them, it helps bring you up to a better place, and it also helps bring them up to a better place.
Yeah. Also, if you see someone else giving them a negative comment, you can bring it upon yourself to say something to that person or defend that other person in some way, which will also bring them up and maybe teach that other person a lesson in a kind way, the person who said the negative comment. Maybe remind them that their comments can hurt people, and so
sometimes I feel like I'm thinking back to my less confident self who didn't like to stand up for people, not because I didn't care about them, but because I didn't feel confident and I didn't want the attention thrown on me. Like the negative attention. But that's the whole point of the body acceptance journey, is to love yourself, body, mind, and spirit, regardless of what you look like. And when you can get to a point in your body acceptance journey where you, even body neutrality, where you do feel neutral, even if you don't love yourself, you can stand up for other people, because if someone attacks on you, you know that it has nothing to do with you. If someone's attacking you, it's their own mental whatever that they're going through. Like it's all them, it's not you. So you can look at them and be like, yeah, okay, and walk away. Yeah,
exactly. That's a good point too. So what about one of our last points? What do we do if we're not feeling so merry and bright this holiday season?
Listen to some Christmas music.
I know this is rarely us. I mean, I've gone through, I'll tell you some stories. Like, I've gone through years where I start the holiday season off being really excited, but then as I get into it, I'm like, I just want it to be over.
Yeah. Because it's so busy.
Yeah. So I just can't wait until it's over.
Yeah.
So like, what do you do in that situation? Like, especially if you have children or family members that are really excited about it, right? Like, but you know what? You know what? Listening Christmas music might actually not be a bad suggestion, or music that lights you up, because music can really change your attitude towards things. Like, personally, I really like the Michael Bublé Christmas album.
Michael Bublé.
So I will go, if ever I'm feeling blah and it's the Christmas season, I will listen to that one. So,
but like, even like you said, any kind of music.
Any kind of music.
Anything that like usually if I'm in a bad mood and I put on the Backstreet Boys, I am no longer in a bad mood.
There you go.
I think if you are in the throes of holiday season and there's still 3 weeks till Christmas and you have so much to do, I think it's important to take a self-care break.
Oh, that's a really good one too. Yeah.
And like really like step away from all of it. And if you're like, I've had too much Christmas, don't listen to it. Go to a room in your house that has no decorations. Spend some time with yourself. Take a bath, whatever. Yeah.
I thought of the bath. That immediately my mind went to. I would take a bath and listen to a true crime, like something.
Yeah. Like, because I think the thing is, the holiday season is different from how we normally live our lives. And I think what's happening is it's throwing us out of our normal like routines. So it's important to take some time. Sometimes it'll take like, a couple hours. Sometimes it'll take a couple days to get you back to feeling like yourself again. And once you feel like yourself, you can tackle the
whatever
the holiday obligations,
Especially that's if you a really have, good point.
Yeah, like especially if you have kids or family who's like really excited, you need to like, be there with them going through it. So that's And like if you truly aren't just feeling it, like it's also okay to honor that too. Like you could even say to a partner or, like I'm just not I just need some space from it, or I mean, obviously, we don't recommend necessarily completely raining on their parade, but like if if you need a break from it, then take a break from it. Like it's like we just kind of said.
I really liked that self-care break idea. I think I needed to do that more.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know about our listeners, but like the holiday season pre-COVID was always like an event every single weekend, often multiple days on those weekends. And then you're working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So like you don't have your normal schedule because you're doing. So taking those breaks.
Where I'm really from, it kicks off right after Remembrance Day, which is, I think, Veterans Day Veterans Day in the States. Yeah. But it kicks off right after that here. And it's like, boom, Christmas parade, boom, like Christmas markets, like it's just go. Like it's constant. A tree lighting ceremony, this and that, like it's just, and then you got family parties, a work Christmas party, like it's just, and then your friends that are in town that aren't normally in town want to see you because they're in town, and you're like, yeah. So.
That's where I think it's really important to stay grounded, staying true to yourself, and not overbooking yourself.
Yes. That's a good point, because our last point is how to stay grounded. So
yeah, I think
you segued right into it. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think staying grounded is literally staying true to yourself and staying true to your normal everyday life and listening to yourself and honoring yourself. And I think when you have other family members involved, communicating to them how you're feeling before it gets to a point that you're going to blow up. Yeah. So like communicating that you're not feeling it and communicating that like as soon as you feel that, not like waiting until the last minute.
I would also say something that just popped into my head, maybe from my intuition, who knows, was like maintain your normal routine as much as possible while you're in the thick of the Christmas season. So like maybe that might mean skipping a few events. Maybe that might mean maintaining your routine around them. Yeah. So like if your routine is to always have brunch on Sundays with your immediate family, do that and then do the thing that's Christmas. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, just so that you remember that it's not going to always be like that, right? Like,
yes. Or asking for help where you need it. Like,
oh, that's a really good one. Yep.
Yeah, because like maybe you can't get your laundry done, or you have to choose between cleaning your house and doing laundry. Maybe you hire a cleaning company that week, or like, you know, you ask someone to come help you watch the kids so that you can take your self-care break, or like, you know.
Yeah. Also too, like, it's okay if you do Christmas a little differently than other people. Like, I'll give the example of myself. This year we're leaving on December 24th and we're going on a 2-week trip, just the three of us. And so like my husband, my daughter, and I. So we're gonna still see people and we're still gonna have Christmas, but we're just gonna move it around and have it on different days. We're gonna have instead of doing a big dinner, which we really want to break from this year. Like, I know myself and I know I need to break from that this year. So I'm taking it. I'm honoring what I mean taking a break from. I mean taking a break from hosting it. So I'm honoring that, and I'm honoring what I feel like I need. So we're going to see people the weekend before we leave, and we're just going to have a cocktail party with hors d'oeuvres. And we're still going to exchange gifts and do all that, but it's going to be a lot less work. Yeah. And a lot less stress trying to time, okay, when is the turkey done? And when does this go in the oven? And when is it, like, it's like... Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's the thing about hosting. It's like, what are you going to wear? You're going to get the family ready. When does the food have to get out? Like, do you have to buy gifts for people? Do you have to plan, like, games or things for people? Like, activities? Like...
And do you have a drink? Okay, what about you? Or do you need a drink over there? Like, it's like constantly like that. So whereas this year I'm going to try to make it so that my husband and I, who normally host, we can be in the moment. So we make everything ahead of time. We put it on like a buffet table. All the drinks are on like a bar, and you come and you make your own drinks. And then that way, you know, and you would kind of announce that ahead of time. Here's the bar. When your drink is empty, you go and get your own. Like, so there's ways to do things to make it less stressful for you, and that's what I'm doing this year. And we're still going to celebrate Christmas in the Bahamas. I just don't really know how... We bought a little Christmas tree, which I'm really excited about. But, like, I just don't know how it's going to look yet. But that's kind of part of the fun. Like, we I don't know if we can get a turkey in the Bahamas, and I might not even try. I might look up what their traditional meal is, and we get to eat that. Like,
yeah,
because that's kind of cool, to try something different, right? So, but yeah, it's okay, like, to honor the holidays and experience them, but like in your own way is what I'm trying to try to say. Like, it's okay to But I really liked the vibe of this episode.
Yeah. Like, you don't feel like you have to do something just because your family's forcing you to do something, or because society says you should.
Exactly. And it's okay to do things a little bit different. And your family, even if they're upset maybe they're upset that we're not having a dinner or whatever, maybe they're upset that, you know, we're not going to be here on actual Christmas Day. It's like, they will be okay. They will get over it. Yeah. And, you know, as long as you still make an effort with them to some respect, it's fine. Like, yeah. So, like, they'll get, like, it doesn't have to be, you know, the same thing every year. It's okay to do your own thing and to, you know, like, and
Christmas is just a day.
Yeah, literally.
Like, it's a day on the calendar. And, like, it's important to, it's what we've been saying this whole time. Listen to your intuition. Don't give in to the guilty feelings. Just forgive yourself and do what's aligned for you, because then you're going to enjoy your holiday season way more.
And when I think of Christmas, I think of chaos, but I used to love, like, I'm not a particularly, like, I consider myself a spiritual person, but not religious person, but I remember going to midnight mass, and there was this moment in the mass where they turned off all the lights and everyone was holding a candle, and that was the most peaceful, like, and then they sang something like Ave Maria, or, like, it was a song that was, like, really, like, peaceful and beautiful, and I remember being like, this is what the feeling of the holidays should be, not craziness of, oh my god, I have to do this and send this, buy this gift and do all this and go to this party, and, you know, like, so I find those magical moments within, I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily at church, but, like, find those magical moments within the chaos and just try to be present, you know what I mean? Like,
being present and doing the things that align with you lets you reclaim the holiday to your own definition.
Yes, exactly.
And not the chaos that you see in the movies and TV and society.
Yeah, you don't have to give in to any of that. So yeah. But so I made a mental list. I haven't written it down, although I might, of what do I actually want to do this year? What do I actually want to do? And I think one of them is baking. One of them is watching maybe one Hallmark Christmas movie every Saturday night or something. But I'm just gonna literally start a list of, like, what actually lights me up when I think about it. And then, like, so that's, I guess, a tip too. Like, you can create a list of what you actually want to do. And then if it's not on your list, maybe you don't do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
I love that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I feel like we covered all our
I think we've covered everything. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. All right. Yeah. So, with the holidays coming up, I guess if you have any comments or questions about this episode, or want to share your own opinions, you can always join our discussion group. It is the Body Acceptance Babes podcast discussion group. Oh, that's a mouthful. You can find it on Facebook. Yeah. But yes, so
you can search it, or the link is on our Instagram. We have a highlight for it.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we hope that this gives you some tools in your toolbox to hopefully enjoy your holiday season.
Yeah, that's our goal, is we want you to enjoy the holidays. So
yes. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to today's episode. Comment on social media to let us know what you think. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Body Acceptance Babes. Please join our Patreon for bonus content, behind-the-scenes access, and more.
If you or someone you love is struggling with an eating disorder or disordered eating behavior, you can get help in Canada from the National Eating Disorder Information Centre toll-free at 1-866-633-5787. 4220 or email nedic@uhn.ca. Or in the U.S., you can text or call the National Eating Disorder Association toll-free at 1-800-931-2237.